Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Nissan GTR-50 Italdesign, the last of the 3 cars that I unlocked in the Jumeirah Drive Syndicate, and I'll be testing it in B-Class multiplayer at 2 stars, which I have fully upgraded to the max I can at this stage. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and be sure to check out my Furum Clips channel, as well as my Purple Team Discord. Links to those will be in the description, and I hope you enjoy these races. So, the GTR-50, at 2 stars, obviously it's not going to be as good as if it were at higher stars, but I did find that it wasn't terrible either. This car at this rank goes 217 miles per hour, which for context is the same speed as the Aston Martin GT12, a few miles per hour faster than the Corvette Grand Sport, and a few miles per hour slower than the Huracan. Neither its nitro or its handling are all that special. They're kind of mediocre actually, and the drifting is somewhat wide. And I would say this car's best stat for sure, at least at this rank, is its acceleration, which is at nearly 80, which again, I mean, it's still below 80, which doesn't make it great, but for a 2-star car, that's not too bad. And I found in a lot of my races that if I was able to keep it at or close to its top speed a lot of the time, i.e. not running out of nitro all the time and being very careful with how I managed the nitro, I was able to compete fairly well against a lot of other B-Class cars that I found. This car is below 2800 in the 2700 rank range, and I was regularly competing against cars in the high 3000s and in the low 4000s. Wasn't always able to beat them, but a lot of times I actually was able to, and here, that guy was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I landed on him, and we came in second place. I've begun noticing a lot of people going to the right there instead of going to the left, like I have done for a long time. The reason why I've always gone to the left is because it seems like it's the same distance as going to the right, around that square bit in New York, you guys know. But going over to the left, you get an extra ramp to go up, which seems to give a lot of extra momentum on the second ramp leading up to the finish line. Let me know what you guys think. Do you go to the left or to the right there, and which way is actually better? I think they're honestly pretty similar, but I'm just curious to see if anybody goes to the right and finds it to actually be faster, because typically I've gone to the left and it's been okay, but sometimes somebody's managed to get ahead by going the other way. Here, I was very scared that this Corvette was going to knock me down. Thankfully though, didn't happen, even though I was kind of pushed to the side. And so after battling quite a few cars and thinking I was going to get knocked down on a couple of occasions toward the beginning of the race, we were into second place, took a shortcut, and then landed pretty much right next to this other Corvette who pushed me over. I was very scared at the time I was going to wreck in the middle there. Thankfully, we didn't. I was able to get up to speed here. I went over to the left so that Corvette wouldn't knock me down, as it almost seemed like he tried to earlier. I really think he was just going for the ramp, though, over on the right. And here, again, I was so scared of getting knocked down. Thankfully, I didn't. Had a close call with that guy 3 times in this race and came in second place, with him passing me directly after the finish line. And we beat a lot of other high-ranked 3000 cars as well, and we're doing the same in this race too. Generally, the average rank of cars in races was about 1000 rank above me or so, and here we have a couple of GT12s, a couple of Corvettes and Huracans, and a Sin R1, which was definitely the fastest car in the race in terms of top speed, but it might not have the greatest acceleration and everything, so that was not the car that was able to get ahead at the beginning. I think he's one of the ones a bit behind me at this point. There was also an ATS Corsa RR Turbo in the race, which was the only non-B-Class car in the race, and I found that in this season, I mean, people definitely chose B-Class cars most of the time. Obviously, they're a lot better than C-Class cars, and I think that since it is not slipstream, that's why we saw a lot more of cars like the GT12 and the Corvette and stuff. If it was slipstream, I can almost guarantee you we would see a lot more, say, Apollo Ns and more Sin R1s. Possibly more F1 LMs if people have those too. It just goes to show that depending on whether it's slipstream or not, it can have a huge impact on the cars that people use and are most reliable in those cases. I decided to go over to the right and make this jump for a chance of passing this Corvette. Thankfully, I was able to, and since he had Shockwave on and I did too, neither of us got knocked down, and I was able to pass him fairly cleanly. Now at this point, I was pretty sure he wasn't going to be able to catch up to me since my car is better top speed. However, I do think he had nitro in that tunnel and I didn't, which is why you did see his dot coming closer to me toward the end. Again, this car's mediocre nitro efficiency definitely has given me some scares, to put it lightly. And speaking of scares, there was a point just a few days ago where I didn't think I was actually going to be able to 2-star this car, or I thought that it was more likely I wouldn't than I would. You see, what happened was my fears were sort of realized after I said in my Saline video that starring up that car might have given me one less 10 times pack for the GTR-50 to open, which could mean the difference between me unlocking the car and not. And basically that's what happened. I got to the point where I had 4 more blueprints needed to not unlock the car, I mean 2-star it. And I was at 13 out of 17. And I only had enough Syndicate coins left to get in the Drive Syndicate event to get one more of the 10 times pack. I was like 2,500 short of the next one. So I opened the one 10 times pack that I could still do. I got 3 blueprints. So I was sitting at 1 left. And by the way this game works, obviously, if you open 1 times packs over and over again, you have technically a chance to get no GTR blueprints ever, whereas if I'd had 2,500 tokens more, i.e. bought 1 less of these saline packs, I could have guaranteed myself that blueprint by buying just 1 more 10 times pack, because you know that's a guarantees 1 every time. But I didn't have that. Thankfully though, and finally luck was on my side in this game, I opened the very first 1 times pack, and I got the blueprint. And because of that, I have about 2,000 or 20,000, I should say, Syndicate coins to spare, and I'm trying to decide whether I should spend them on the Gallardo or the GTR-50. And I put a tweet out a little while ago, which by the way, you can find the link in the description if you don't follow me already. But basically I said that I was going to spend them on the Gallardo, and now I'm kind of rethinking that, because while the Gallardo is obviously a very good car, so is the GTR-50. I mean, if at 2 stars I'm able to compete this well against all of these B-class cars, imagine what I could do at 4 or 5 stars. So I'm thinking it actually might be a better idea at this point, since I already have the Aranera and the 599XX Evo in C-Class, which are the 2 best cars in that class, that in this one, maybe I should just put them toward the GTR-50 and hope to get more GTR-50 blueprints in the future, because it's absolutely one of the best B-Class cars, and I feel like it could really do some damage at higher stars. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. In the last 15 seconds or so of that race, we got passed by Salvatore in his maxed out Carrera GT, and I saw that we were facing him again in the race directly afterwards here, so we did get a rematch. I knew I was going to try whatever I could to make it a spicy one. So now it's time for my general review about this car. I truly believe the GTR-50 is one of the best cars in B-Class, and I'm really hoping that it comes back very soon to be able to star up, because it's one that I definitely want to spend my tokens on. When I compared it to the Apollo IE in my video about the max stats of new cars in this update, it was better in every stat except one, which I think possibly was handling. Not 100% sure on that though. But it had better acceleration and top speed than the Apollo, and we already know the Apollo is one of the better cars in B-Class. So I'm thinking this one is definitely going to be a new contender on a lot of tracks in Class B. Even at 2 stars, it's not terrible. It has somewhat average speed, I would say. Its acceleration, again, its best part, because I was able to keep on par and maybe even start up slightly faster than cars like the Corvette, which you guys know have only about a 77 acceleration, but the Nitro and handling and drifting have something to be desired. Here, we both 360'd, touched each other, neither one of us knocked the other one down somehow, and I was just a bit ahead of him. I think he got a little hung up heading into the entrance of the cave because of the bad drifting. They almost caught up to me toward the end, but thankfully I was able to get back up to my top speed and take the victory. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, Minecraft, and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!